You know, we have probably all played a lot of video games in our lives, but have you ever thought about, like, what's your favorite genre of video games out there? I know a lot of people will think of, like, first-person shooters like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or maybe you're into the horror, so Resident Evil and stuff. I, on the other hand, have had a genre of games that I've really liked that I didn't really know how to name or tell, like, what it was. So basically, it was always just co-op games, but specifically ones where you were fighting hundreds of people at once, possibly even thousands, and just destroying them all, but they overrun you, they destroy you. And I kept telling everybody, I'm like, I like those types of games. Those types of games are the ones that I like. And I finally figured out what those types of games were. Co-op horde shooters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know that's probably not a genre that a lot of people seem to claim that is their favorite. But looking at my Steam library, the fact that I created a whole section just for those, and there are some games in my other categories that could probably fit into this, horde shooters have been kind of my thing lately, especially with the class overhaul of Warhammer 40k Darktide. That game really kind of opened it up in my head, and I'm like, wow, I really like these types of games. And so I wanted to do something that we haven't done on the channel before. I'm going to go ahead and look at all the horde shooters that I currently have, and I'm going to put them in a tier list. Maybe this is something I'll continue on. Maybe this is something I'll just do as a one-off and say, forget it. Maybe this video won't even come out at all. We'll find out if you're watching this. Disclaimer, I know I don't have all the horde shooters in the world. This is definitely not a comparison of all of them. I'm missing GTFO, which I've heard is amazing, and Starship Troopers Extermination, which my buddy Morgalone has said is awesome. Trust me, I want to get them, I just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm also going to not be doing games that have a horde mode, so you're not going to see Gears of War. I want games that are solely focused on the horde shooting, so no SCP-5K, as that has the raid as its main mode. But yeah, with that being said, let's get started, and I hope you guys enjoy and agree with me. Alien's Fireteam Elite is one of those games from the Alien franchise that is actually decent and good. And this game is absolutely up there with Alien Isolation. This took what Alien's Colonial Marine should have been and made it actually decent, especially with the third-person perspective, 3-man squads, which is a little bit weird, not gonna lie. But the amount of Xenos that come after you, it makes you feel like you're in the movie Aliens. Not only is all the horde modes good, the campaign's beautiful, the levels that you go through are just absolutely amazing. If you're a fan of the franchise, you're gonna love this to death. Even if you're just a fan or looking for a good horde shooter, this is such a great game. Getting to see the Queen, the other types of Xenos, and then seeing all the weapons in the Alien universe, which is such a treat to do. And this team did such a great job with respecting the franchise. The weapons make sense in this universe because they're 95% of the weapons you see in this game are not from any of the Alien movies, so they had to create their own. And they're all beautiful. The pulse rifle is the most beautiful thing on earth. The gunner class is amazing. The different classes, they all work really well. The gunner class is personally my favorite. And yeah, I can't get enough of this game. This game is kind of dead right now, even though they released a patch in October fixing some quality of life stuff. But there is rumors that there is a sequel being worked on by the same company, and I hope to God it comes out. Add 4-player mode because the fire teams in Alien were a lot bigger than 3 people. And honestly, just keep doing the same thing. I don't know if you could add more weapons because there weren't that many weapons out there. Some problems I have with it is nothing really. This game is really, really solid. That's why I'm going to put Alien's Fireteam Elite in the A tier section. This is a beautiful game. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Back 4 Blood, the potential Left 4 Dead 3, made by Deep Rock Studios, who also made Evolve. Yeah, not a good reputation right there, straight ahead. Back 4 Blood was basically the answer to why Valve hasn't made Left 4 Dead 3. These people wanted to make a co-op horde shooter for zombies and stuff like that. And it honestly was pretty decent. In the beginning, it was definitely rough. If you're comparing this to Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, I feel like the melee is a lot better. Guns are a lot more accurate because it's not on like a CSGO engine type. And overall, it is something that it could stand alone and be its own great thing. My biggest problem with it is lately, you're probably noticing, there is no footage because for some reason, my Back 4 Blood does not work, so I could not get footage. Not even my friend Gaius could get footage. And so I'm deducting points for that. Don't know why it doesn't work. Nobody else seems to have this problem, or some people do, and still haven't fixed it. So good job abandoning your game and then breaking it, apparently. But if we're going to go by the actual gameplay, the zombies that they have are really cool. The special types of zombies they have are very interesting. They are different from Left 4 Dead, which is nice because a lot of people were scared, oh, this is just Left 4 Dead 2 with better graphics. No, the characters are kind of mad though, and the DLCs were expensive. One of the biggest things that they did though was very weird. Your guns had gear score, which I did not want in a zombie game, and that was basically you had to put on attachments purposely to rise up the gear score to make the gun better. But you couldn't take off attachments. What a stupid, stupid design. And they made decisions in this game that were very weird. The multiplayer I don't really care about. We're here for the Horde shooter. But from what I saw of the DLCs, it looked decent. It looked like the game got better throughout the years. I wouldn't be able to tell you because I can't fucking play it. So yeah, I'm going to put Back 4 Blood right in C. It's a very average Horde shooter. That's all I really got to say about it right now.
Rock and stone to the bone!
Deep Rock Galactic. So, before I made this video, Deep Rock Galactic was actually, I thought it was, one of the worst Horde shooters I've ever played. But I've been playing it a lot recently because my buddy Rory has gotten me back into it because people are finally starting to play it. The reason I don't have a lot of hours in this game currently is because I literally bought this last year. The second I bought it, everyone stopped playing. I was so annoyed. Actually pissed off. So yeah, but a couple of people are starting to play it again. I'm finally leveling up. All the classes in this game are absolutely great. They're all very unique. They're all very special. This game emphasizes having each class together because they all do great stuff. The driller can get you to destinations quicker through all the dirt. Engineers can set up turrets. Gunner is just a big boy with a gun and can mow down hordes. And the support is apparently the pro gamer class that I've been told. Or the scout, I mean. And the scout is apparently the hardcore try-hard class that I've been told. Haven't played much of those classes right now as I'm focusing on leveling up Gunner. The enemy types though are really awesome. The side objectives are my favorite part of this game. And it's just cool. It's taking a Horde shooter and it's doing something very, very unique to it, honestly. And it works really, really well. And I hope to see this game succeed even more. I know it's been out for a little bit, but it seems like they're not slowing down anytime soon. They just had a major update in November, which was nice. But yeah, this is definitely one that I want to keep playing and keep learning, especially because my buddy Rory wants to do endgame stuff, which I haven't even touched yet, because I'm nowhere near endgame. Lots of content in this game. Very, very good game. I'm gonna put that at a nice solid B tier. It's a great game. As a Horde shooter, it's getting there. It's really close. Really, really close.
Pills here!
Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Now these games are very old, but if it wasn't for these two games, we would not have Horde shooters like we do today. Left 4 Dead 1 basically set the setting, and I actually prefer Left 4 Dead 1 over 2. I don't know, just something about it. Maybe it's the characters or some sort, but something about it I really, really like. The levels designs I feel like were a lot better, even though Left 4 Dead 2 is just more levels and different characters. I can't really explain it, but for Left 4 Dead 1, I really, really enjoyed the characters, how they interacted. The zombie hordes in this game are amazing with the sound effects, the world, the environment with how they react to it, breaking down doors, setting off car alarms, and all that jazz. Left 4 Dead 2 came out of nowhere and amped it up and added melee weapons. There were no melee weapons in Left 4 Dead 1. And then Left 4 Dead 2 just kept going. Left 4 Dead 2 implemented all of Left 4 Dead 1's content into Left 4 Dead 2, I believe for free because I've never paid for it. Added in melee weapons for Left 4 Dead 1, so you didn't need to own Left 4 Dead 1 anymore. You could just buy Left 4 Dead 2, which is such a beautiful thing that they did, and I appreciate that dearly. With different weapons, all the weapons, if you're a fan of CSGO, it seems like the weapon design and how they work was ripped straight out of CSGO, which is perfectly fine. It's a Valve game. But that also leads to some of my complaints. CSGO, you can't aim down sights, neither can you in Left 4 Dead 2. And not gonna lie, it feels like some of the guns are very, very inaccurate, especially at long range. I can tell you right now that is 100% a skill issue because I've seen people pull off crazy trick shots in CSGO, and I definitely can't do that. So we'll chalk that up to a skill issue. But Left 4 Dead 2, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, this has to go in the S tier because if it wasn't for these two games, we would not have Horde shooters and we would not be constantly trying to one-up these. So this gets an S tier because these are fantastic games. You don't need to buy Left 4 Dead 1 anymore, just buy Left 4 Dead 2 and simply have a good time. The game itself doesn't take itself seriously and it's just a beautiful thing. And it's still a good time to play to this day. S tier, no doubt. Another one where it's kind of combined, Payday the Heist and Payday 2. I'm just going to call it Payday 2 because all Payday the heists are in Payday 2. Payday 2, another one that is phenomenal and a clear staple of Horde shooters. Payday 2 is basically your cops and robbers if the cops had infinite respawns. This game has been around for 12 plus years, and only recently this year Payday 3 came out, and that's when Payday 2 was finally dead. But until then, Payday 2 has been going for over a decade, entertaining people, adding more content. Overkill basically made love to this game and cherished it. They married it and kept it happy for years to come. Payday 2 still has a high play count, even 12 years later, even after Payday 3 came out. We'll get to there. And it's such a great game because you can build up you can select different heisters, you can make, that's just a voice line and a body, but then you can make them your own thing with the skill trees, the perk decks. You can do so much to make yourself very, very unique with the skills. And then the weapons, there are over 300 weapons in this game. Shotguns, pistols, rifles, akimbo, all that stuff. This game is insane with the amount of content it has. My only issue is it does have a lot of DLC, which, I mean, the game is also old as hell and they gotta fund it somehow, so really not an issue, but depends on how you look at it. If Left 4 Dead 2 is Jesus, Payday 2 is the Holy Grail. And because this game has been around for so long, keeping the Horde shooter genre alive, because when Payday 2 and Left 4 Dead 2 came out, there was a time that I believe we didn't get any new Horde shooters for a while. Now they seem to be coming out every couple of years, which is so nice. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to give Payday 2 an absolute A tier. It is such a good game. Go get it. It's on sale all the time for like 99 cents, and its normal price is now $10. Absolutely amazing. With that being said, we are now going to Payday 3, which has been very rocky. If you actually follow me, I've been trying to keep up with this game, and then it came out and kind of burnt everyone that was in support of it. Payday 3 had such a rocky start that the game player base basically got abandoned. Payday 2 has a higher player base than Payday 3 right now, which is such a shame because underneath all the crap that we had to deal with the whole live service stuff, this is a great game. Payday 3 currently only has like 8 heists, but there's more coming literally, I believe, next week. 2 legacy heists from Payday 2. And Payday 3 is different from Payday 2. Some love it, some hate it. I'm kind of in the middle with it. Armor doesn't regenerate anymore like it does in Payday 2, so it makes surviving a lot harder, but also like the quality of life updates from Payday 2. It's in an Unreal Engine, so console players get to play. They updated the enemy types. They added 1 new enemy, which they should have added more, gonna be 100% honest. But the old enemy types in here are now vicious. Cots react to getting shot a lot more. They actually have armor, so you have to shoot them a lot more. And the skill tree, while very basic, it is nice. Like, I was able to build a tank build, and I actually really like the tank build in Payday 3. More than Payday 2? Absolutely not. Armor regen is kind of king for a Horde cop shooter. This is also one of those Horde shooters where they shoot back. Same with Payday 2. A lot of Horde shooters have you going against enemies that are melee or a couple range. every single enemy in the Payday franchise shoots back at you. So having armor and cover is very, very important. Being able to survive all those hits is very, very important. But like I said, there are issues in this game. This game is also taking forever to get going. It's got a Payday 2 launch, except with live service issues. It's taking a long time. We waited 12 years for this game. It looks like we're waiting a couple more years before Payday 3 is at Payday 2's level of basically Horde shooter quality. With that being said, I am going to sadly bring Payday 3 down to a C tier for now. Maybe if I keep doing this, we'll see Payday 3 go up a tier in the future.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Here's one you probably don't know, and if you have been following me for a long time, you know this one because I've talked about it in one video 2 years ago. Raid World War II. Raid World War II is another game by Overkill and Starbreeze Studios, who made Payday 1, 2, and 3. Raid World War II was basically Payday 2 in World War II. And honestly, it wasn't a bad idea, it was just a horrible execution. For starters, in the Payday games, you can have the AI or your friends carry bags. In Raid World War II, they can't carry bags, so you have to do everything on your own or get friends to play this. And good luck getting friends to play this. I believe the Steam player count is like 1 person right now, and that was probably me getting footage. But I don't entirely hate this game. It's like the idea of like the perk decks, like it has perk decks in here. Each character actually has their own version of a special ability, a war cry. Like the medic guy, he can slow down, he gets like an auto aim, and couldn't tell you what the other ones are because I haven't played the other classes. As someone who's owned this game for like 2 years, I think, I've only played it for under 10 hours. So take that what you will. It's not the worst Horde shooter in the world, but it is definitely the worst one on my list. And for that, Raid World War II is absolutely getting a D tier. It's not unplayable, but it is not a fun experience. Don't buy this game. Our first Warhammer game on this tier list, which you think they'd have a lot more. Hopefully they will in the future, because we're getting close to Darktide. Space Hulk Deathwing. Now, this is basically it's a 4-person Horde co-op shooter where you get to use these different classes. You're Inquisitors, you're going on this ship, there's Heretics and Xenos, and you basically need to mow them down while doing objectives. Deathwing is also very difficult, which is a really nice change in Horde shooters. Like, even normal difficulty is difficult. You need to cooperate as a team. You need to have an apothecary, which is a healer. And as much as I love playing the Sword and Shield class, you really need gunners too, because you will get mowed down. You're in this giant power armor, it doesn't matter. You will die really quick, and I can't imagine this game at higher difficulty, which we haven't tried yet. Unfortunately, as much as I love this game is dead. It is 100% dead. The only way you're playing this is if you have friends, essentially, or you're playing the campaign with AI. But it is a good game. This is straight up a really, really good game, especially for Warhammer. This is a really good game. Unfortunately, I only have so little time in it because it's hard to find people to play with, and I don't really care for the story. When in the multiplayer, you can select your class and you can customize it after leveling up and getting money. In the story, you have to play through the campaign to unlock the weapons that you want. As someone who likes playing the Sword and Shield, I don't want to wait, so I just play the multiplayer. But yeah, I have a blast every time I play this. I will chalk down some points though. It is peer-to-peer connection, and even though me and my buddy Gaius have decent connection, we're still getting lag spikes, and good luck playing with anyone from across the seas. It can be very difficult. But server issues aside, I will easily give this one a C tier. No, I will give this one a B tier. Like I said, it's a very good game. It's just old. Now we're moving on to the game that made me even want to do this list idea and actually made me create the category in my Steam library, Warhammer 40k Darktide. What an amazing game. When this game first came out, it was absolute dog shit, and I didn't buy it at the time. But then the class overhaul came out, And holy crap, what a difference for everyone who says they played it before and now that it's good. It is so good to hear that and then picking it up, because right out of the gate, I've had such a good impression with this game. And it's really fun. The class updates, you can actually put like skill points into it. You can play each class, the veteran if you love your guns, the zealot if you love melee, the psyker if you want to be like a mage, magical, like a damage dealing mage, and then the Ogryn, which everyone should play. You can be the tank or the muscle or the LNG guy. It is just so fun. All of these classes are fun. The enemies are great. You're fighting melee and range units. There's plenty of special units, and each thing in your skill tree can help you with specific ones. Like Rory can kill bosses in a couple of hits. My veteran can mow down hordes as quickly as possible. Jesters has a grenade that latches on the heavy armored enemies and will one-shot them. It's all fun and dandy. You can make your class and make it work. This game also racks up in difficulty pretty quick if you're low level, but when you get to level 30, it's still difficult. Like, you're not, even with like close to max gear score, you can still go down relatively easily, depending on the class. Like, a veteran will go down a lot quicker than an Ogryn, but the veteran has a lot more range options, and usually better range options than an Ogryn, depending on who you ask. Overall, this is a fantastic horde shooter. This is the reason that I'm even making this video, and it's currently one of my favorite horde shooters of all time. Easily S tier for me, 100%. Our last Warhammer, Vermintide 2. This game was made before Darktide, and it's made by the same people, Fat Shark. I thought this game was going to be dead after Darktide came out, but getting footage of it and looking at the activity, they just released a 4th class for the Fire Lady, the Necromancer. And as you're seeing here, I played with someone who had that. What a cool fucking class. It made me want to go out and buy it. Maybe someday. But I'm shocked to see that this game is still alive and kicking. I really thought they would have abandoned this when Darktide came out and they're trying to fix Darktide. But for all the Vermintide fans, I'm glad it's not. I'm glad this game isn't dead for you, because now you had something to enjoy. Darktide kind of focuses more on range. Vermintide has always been about the melee. The melee is top tier in Vermintide. The way you slash against the ratlings, it's amazing. It's such a good feeling. The missions, they're still adding missions to this. They added a roguelike adventure where you level up or make it harder for better rewards while using these classes. You can select a different type of subclass for your class. All the characters are unique. They have their own unique weapons and everything. This game is great. This is a Vermintide 2-in-1. We're another thing that helped staple horde shooters on the map, along with Payday 2 and Left 4 Dead 2. It came out a little later than those two, obviously. But seriously, this is a fantastic game. Vermintide 2, easily an A tier. It's not even a doubt. Go buy this game. The fact that it's still alive, you should absolutely buy this game. The last one that I currently have, and this one I will support till the day I die because they didn't have to do this. World War Z, specifically World War Z Aftermath. Not only is World War Z a fantastic novel that I highly recommend you read, I actually have it and I'm almost done it and I love the book so much. World War Z makes you feel like you're in the book. You hear the stories from the book and now you get to play them. And the fact that this game is still being updated, you don't hear about it anymore, but literally there's an update for Valley of the Zeke coming soon. And it just baffles me that this game is still being updated because I don't hear anything anymore. But it makes me so happy to see it because this is a game where if they don't make a sequel, this will be lost to time, and it's such a missed opportunity. The World War Z game, they literally made a brand new engine, saying basically with the goal of how many zombies can we put on the screen. The World War Z engine, I believe it's Saber's engine, can literally hold up to 800 enemy zombies at a time. Another fun fact about this is if you're excited for Space Marine 2, Space Marine 2 is using the World War Z engine to put the Tyranids in. So you will be able to see about 800 Tyranids on screen, plus or minus some of your allies and stuff like that. But the fact that the fact that they made a whole new engine strictly for this game to give you the best zombies experience possible is such a thing to applaud for. It's so underrated. They love World War Z, the developer Saber. They have made it very clear it's still getting updates. Literally, there's an update coming December 5th. Enough with praising the developers. The game also is very solid. It is a third-person and a first-person horde shooter, so you can literally play with your preference. Animations look decent in first person. Third person is always amazing. I love third person personally. And the zombie special types are also there's also unique ones like the megaphone, which will attract another horde. There's the bomber, there's the hunter ripoff. It's just amazing. I can't praise this game enough. The fact that it's still going is I can't get over it. This is amazing. And and you know what? Since it's still going, I'm gonna start recommending this to my friends. Like I said, I thought it was dead, so I'm like, oh, I guess we're done playing it. It was a great time. Nope, they're still going, then I'm gonna keep recommending. So, World War Z, A tier. Please, get this game, support it, because if they ever stop making this game, I want a sequel so bad. Like, I can't imagine. I would give it S tier, but because it's kind of not as famous as the other ones, I don't want to put it up there with it. But this is a solid game. If you love horde shooters, this is a must own. Seriously, can't get over how good this game is. And with that being said, this is my tier list. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't agree with it, fuck off. Don't care. Didn't ask. I don't know if I'll do this again. I have a lot of horde shooters. The only ones I'm kind of missing, I believe, is GTFO and Starship Troopers Exterminator. So who knows? If I get a bunch more, I'll gladly do this again. I love these games, and it's just a fun time. These are all like, yeah, I really love these games. I'm glad I got to just sit here and talk about them, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope maybe you'll look into one of these and get a new horde shooter, because it is a fun genre, and I really, really enjoy it. I love the cooperation with your teammates instead of being like, oh, this guy killed me from a far distance, I had no chance. I love the idea of, like, if you mess up, your whole team is going to get destroyed. You are only as strongest as your weakest link. It's very cool. I love these. And yeah, I hope we keep getting more horde shooters in the future. These are great. These are great. This is a great genre for video games, and I love them to death, if you couldn't tell. But anyway, yeah, this is my tier list. If you don't agree with it, then cry about it to me in the comments. Anyway, see you next week.